So for this video, we've got to go back in time a little bit, before all this existed. I'm trying to build the world's best landscape photography campervan. Sounds like a grand plan, and wow, has it been tough up to this point, but I am slowly getting there. So for the past 8 months I've been working on my campervan, and a lot of those bits have been putting in all the wiring into my campervan and eventually putting in this electrical board here. So what I want to do is go back 8 months and explain all this and how I got to this point, and hopefully we'll get to the point where at the end of the video we'll be able to switch this on and check it works. So one of the two 12-volt circuits, the actual fuse box, is down here. So I'm going to run conduit from here to the places that I need the wire to go, which is a max air fan, some USB sockets here, and also my lights as well. There's not a lot of room, so I'm just going to have to try and push as many wires as I can down this one conduit, which could be a bit tricky. I don't want to mix 240 volts and 12 volts, but I don't think it's going to matter too much if I have to, because yeah, I think it'll be fine. So that's the plan. Watch me struggle. So it was a bit tricky sometimes to get the conduit in, especially because it was ribbed going through the sides of this metal. But with perseverance and a little bit of patience, I managed to get them all in. So I've done this before, where you get a vacuum and you get like a little puck and you put it on an end of a string and you can suck it through the conduit. I was praying this was going to work because I tried so hard to get the cable through this conduit and I couldn't do. And lo and behold, it came through. I've got the cable in the trunk in, so I'm just trying to get it through here. I had to chop it in half because it was tricky to get it through the trunking in half. But oh, this ribbed trunking just gets stuck. And it's so hard to pull through. So this is going to go around here to there, so I need more. I want switches here, so there's going to be 3 switches here and 3 switches at the bed there, and they're going to be two-way switches. Because they're two-way switches, there's got to be a dual cable for each switch, so there's effectively 6 wires running between them. But it means that I've got to run quite a lot of cable, so this cable's got to go around. It's basically opposite corners, and it's going to go somewhere to here, so I'm going to get it to here and roll it up here because I'm taking this bulkhead out. And my theory was, if I get the cables in first and then do the installation, it'll be a bit easier. What's that? It's going to go down there, across there, to there. Right, I've got to get the solar panel on. It's under here. It's a 540 watt Sharp solar panel, and it's going to take up a fair amount of room on the roof. The reason I want to put it on now is I want to make sure I've got all the electrical connections I need going in before obviously I put any insulation and the ceiling on. So this is the next job. I'm going to drill a hole in for the cables, put the grommet in there and the box over there, and then lift this on with some help hopefully, and connect it all up. Should be fine. Just don't drop it. These are the roof struts that go across, and then we're going to lift it back on with it connected to these. I put them in the right place, left and right, and then I've been able to get to all the cable and tidy it up really neatly as well. So I think that's pretty good. I'm just going to lift it back on the roof now, so I need some helpers. Helpers! I managed to find some elves, and there was no complaining at all, honestly none at all, by my younger elf, and we got it on the roof. Right, so I am now at the final stage of just locking this down. It's taken a while. Gosh. So I just need to put in these bolts in here, and the solar panel will be on. Not really doing much with the electricity it's going to be generating though, which seems a shame. Hey ho. Whew. Right, so this is the housing that the cables go through from the solar panel into the electrics. So there's two wires, positive and negative. They just go through the grommet in the roof that I've just created, and then this is Sikaflexed down. So basically I'm going to put this up there, put these into the ceiling or through the roof, and I am just going to get all the cables tied up. So I'm going to have to go under the solar panel to do that, which should be fairly easy. And then I just need to make sure that the ends of these cables are insulated so that there's no shorts or anything like that. So not too difficult, this job, I don't think. What could possibly go wrong? He says again. And it was really easy to get that secured down. It was waterproof, so the next thing was to drill a hole for the mains hookup. Right, so I've put a wooden block on the inside to just give this something to clamp to, and I'm just going to Sikaflex around the screw holes. I think it'll be watertight because it's got a seal. If it isn't then watertight, afterwards I'll Sikaflex around the outside. So I think that should work pretty well. So I'm just going to put a little bit in where the holes are. And I'm going to put some just down there as well. Do it. Right, without getting it everywhere, put that in there, and then put these through. I'm going to bolt it in so these just go through easily. It's good. Right, so now I should be able to just hold the inside, so I have a helper to hold the inside, and then I can just screw this up. Right, so it's time to do the electrics and install all the Victron equipment, which I'm going to go and show you in a minute. I've put this board on the back of the shower. So this is basically the back of the shower. There's going to be another board that comes all the way through here. So this is going to be like a sort of a box area. And in here, I'm going to put another board on so that the electrics sit off slightly, and then all the wires can go behind it. It seems a little bit excessive, that there's a little bit of extra weight putting that extra board on, but I want to do it that way because I think it would just be a neater way of doing it and probably safer as well. And then in front of that I'm going to have a perspex sheet just to cover it up so that you can see it all. Looks cool, but when I open the door no rain will get in. This is the board that's going to go in the camper van. There's going to be so many wires on this, but this is how I think I'm going to lay it out, and I'll go through the different elements. I'm going to start down here. So all the stuff is Victron stuff. I've got the Victron power in here, so it's just basically somewhere to connect to your battery. It's going to go through what's called a link shunt, which just detects how the battery is, I think. And the links distributor basically then allows me to distribute the battery power to various things, and that's got to go to the inverter, to and from the DC to DC charger, which goes to my car to charge the battery. The Servo GX is the main control unit, the sort of brains of the system. Then I've got a solar charger, which is like, takes the solar charge and charges the batteries. This takes the vehicle charge and charges the batteries. And then I've got some fuses here, 12 volt and 240 volts fuses. But that's basically it. I'm going to cut some holes in this wood, and then all the wires are going to be behind this. So this is going to sit a little bit off, and there's going to be a gap of about that much for the wires to go behind. It was then a case of just making up all the cables for this system, crimping all the lugs on, making sure I got the right cable sizes, and then just heat shrinking some protective shroud around the cable. Right, I don't know why I'm recording this, but you're about to see me blow up the garage and my whole life. So I've just connected my battery. I've got a disconnect here. I've got to change because this is only rated at 275 amps. I think it needs to be rated a bit higher, but for now it's going to be fine because I'm just testing it. So I'm going to switch this. I'm just hoping it just doesn't blow up. There's not much connected at the moment. I've got, yeah, just Red, 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 black, black, black. I'm so scared. Okay, here goes. There's lights. It's not. There's no smoke. That's a good thing. There are lights. We've got power there. Let's see if when I plug this in, this little light. The light's lit already. How can it be lit? Okay, we've got a problem because I haven't actually plugged it in. It's lit. I think this board might be really crap. So that works, but it shouldn't have some light. There's really no power going through it at the moment. That doesn't make any sense. Anyway, I just need to configure this now. So I've got to connect to my Servo GX, configure that, and I will come back to you in a minute. Right, so I am, at the moment, just trying to get all my wires sorted out in where they're going to go into the panel here. So you can see that I've basically got wires coming down here, some wires there, some wires there, and then if I just show you in here, what I've done is I have put some holes in this so the wires come through. I think that should be good. Just need to put it in place now. Okay, so I've got to do the ground for the electrics, and basically I'm just going to put this bolt on, and I'm just going to, grind down some of the metal on the van. At the back of it, I'm just going to have a screw that just goes through the paint because I can't get to the back of it, and a washer, and this is just going to just basically dig into the paint, and then on the front of it, I'm going to clamp it with this, like that, and that should be okay. Now I've got to make sure that this is thick because this has got to take be as thick as my thickest positive cable. That's it. It was just a case of then finish connecting everything up on the board. Here's me connecting the Victron inverter, which converts to 12 volts to 240 volts, which will be really, really useful for things like the microwave. And then we're nearly done with the board. Right, I'm getting there. I've spent so long on this board, but I'm getting there. It's pretty good now. I'm just going to go through it again actually, because I think that it's useful to sort of explain the various elements of it. So I've got the solar charge controller here. This controls all the charging from the solar panels. I have the Servo GX, which is like the brains of the whole system. The Orion XS, which is the DC to DC battery charger. So that when I'm driving, make sure that it charges at an appropriate time and appropriate voltage, and takes the alternator voltage, current, and then charges my batteries. And then here, this is my sort of, this is my switch for my solar charge controller. This is my 240 volt system. So this is a switch on the input. This is all the safety around the 240 volts. I'll go into that in a bit more detail later in the video. I've then got the DC on and off switch, not the battery. This is just to control the main on and off for the DC stuff. This is my new updated satellite controller, and I'm going to explain a bit more about that later as well. I've got a converter from 12 volts to 5 volts because I need a USB to power this, which is my Wi-Fi, where my satellite input will go into. And on this, I've actually created a really nifty little case that will go on top of it because you can't screw it in very easily. So then that's going to go up there. And then the rest of it's the bulk of the Victron system. So this is my inverter, and then I've just got the 12 volt system through a shunt. It's pretty basic stuff, that really. And then the batteries, I've got on-off switches as well. I've done an on-off switch for each one rather than one main on-off switch. So that's it really. It's taken me weeks. I'm about to get ready to lift this in the van now, which is pretty exciting. Board needs fixing on, and then I can put my main electrics boards on. All these wires are labelled, so this is the satellite, these are the solar. So I'm just going to tidy this up a little bit, screw that to that, and then I should be able to put my electrics panel in. getting there. I'm definitely getting there with the electrics. God, this has been a long project. With all the electrical equipment on it, this board was heavy, so it was great to have Anne to help me lift it in place. And then it was a question of just feeding all the wires through from the back and making sure they were all in the right place before I connected them all up and put it in place for good. So, that was a bit tricky. I've clamped it in now. I had to cut off a little bit more here just because I just miscalculated how tight it is, but that's it, that's in now. I just pray that I've got all the wires in place that I'm meant to have, but I think I have. So this is sort of 240 bit, solar bit. This is a little bit of a worry because there's a lot of electrics here, whether the Wi-Fi is going to get through, but I think it should do. If it doesn't, I probably can move this, to be honest, not too difficult. I've got to connect this somehow. So there's a wire to come through for that I've just got to work out. And then basically it's just connecting all these cables up. I'm going to start by just connecting the battery, just checking the basic Victron equipment. I've checked it in there, I want to check it again. And then we'll go from there. This is scary now. I'm going to turn this on. So at the moment I've just got, well, nothing connected really apart from all the Victron gear. This is switched off, which is the main thing. So there we go, it's on. And nothing happened. Okay. Right, I found out it was a problem with the app. So basically on here, probably can't see it very well, but there's you can switch the charging and discharging on and off, and I had discharging off, so it should work now. So we're going to switch this on. Yes, we have light. That's got power. This is booting up. So I think it just takes a few seconds. It's not on yet. But I have switched this on in the garage, so it did work then, okay. Oh, it's so worrying. Okay, I think it's coming on. So that's going green, which is good. And then this is powered on now. Right, we're good. So I just need to connect my phone now and check everything's okay, I think. So it tells you the status now, charging. I'm just going to set it up. So basically now what I'm going to do is try and load the Victron app, Victron Connect app, and that should connect me because I've already been connected. Just connect into the Servo GX, which is like the brain of the whole system. Right, it's just a lot of stripping wires now, attaching all the connections, and then it should all work, I think. The good news is the solar panel works, so I've just tested that and that seems to be delivering power, although not much at this time of year. I've not tested the satellite yet, but I think that'll work, fingers crossed. So yeah, we're getting there, we're getting there. So the next thing is I've got to wire some more things up there on the electrics, but it's so cold today, so what I'm going to try and do is just build a storage for the two batteries, this battery and another battery on top of it. So basically there's going to be a board all the way up here to the bottom of my bed, and then a board across here, and this will also help support my bed, and then yeah, there's going to be a board in here as well, the other side of the shower, and then that's going to go all the way forward there, and there's going to be some storage there. It all makes sense when I start building it, but I think it should be fairly easy to do this. Famous last words. So when I chop plywood like this, basically I just put some insulation underneath, Kingspan insulation or whatever it is underneath, and I just set my track saw to just thicker than the actual plywood. And then you can do it really easily on your own, and it just makes everything so much easier. I'm just going to make sure that I just have enough space around me, don't chop my fingers off. Yeah, what can go wrong? Right. So I started out by cutting the wood with the track saw and then moved it to the table saw when things got a little bit more manageable. And then I used this fantastic tip of just sticking down bits of wood and using a router to cut out really accurate holes for the cables to go through. Simple as that. Might need help for that. FaceTime. Hello, could you help for a second?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. So, I have now got my bits of wood, this bit, another bit like that to go to the other side of the battery, this for the battery. And I'm going to build it all up. I've done the hard bit really in the workshop, making all the pieces. Now I just need to sort of construct it here. And basically there's going to be a battery here that I'm going to sort of put some wooden blocks behind to stop it moving, and then there's going to be a battery on top of it as well. I am a little bit worried about the weight because these are 60 kilograms each. There's 120 kilograms there. There's another 70 kilograms of water, and then there's a big electrical panel. So there's a lot of weight over the back of the van. But I'm still nowhere near the limit of the van, so it should be okay. So what I'm going to do first is I've got some protective floor cover in here. I'll cut that up because this is going to go straight onto the original floor that I put down, and that's it. Good, let's go. Right, so I am going to just put this in place. Now, I want to just get this in place and just check that everything seems okay. So basically I need to put this over these wires here, feed these through. These ones can go. Basically I just need to get this into place. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So there's a gap here because there's a grid going on there. My battery, one battery is going to go there, one battery is going to go there, and then I'm going to have a panel there. I think this should all work. Right, good. Coffee and then come back. Oh. Right. Oh, it's warm. December, in case you wondered. Actually, it's the end of November. I've just got this in now, so that's screwed in and tight. I've got a confession to make. It's not parallel to the van. It's slightly off. I must have got this just a little bit wrong. So that means that my big drawers here are going to open slightly at an angle, but it's nothing to worry about. I shouldn't have told anybody because now everyone knows, but there we go. Right, this battery weighs 60 kilograms. So I probably shouldn't lift it, but let's see how, oh my God, it's heavy. So this, it's called, it's a Fogstar Drift Pro. It's got heating in it, so it charges in the winter a lot better. I'll put the specs on here anyway, so you can see the exact specs of it, but it's a big battery and I've got two of them. Now, I'm still not convinced I need two, but better to have more power, isn't it? Especially for all the things I've got planned. So I just need to get this in here. Hopefully it should fit. Yeah, so that's going to go down there like that. It needs to go this way a little bit, about there I think. So there's going to be another wall here, and then this goes on top like that, and then the other one sits on there. I think I need a bit of a gap because I've got to get some wires through here. I've left a bit of a gap, so I can just move this out a little bit. Need to put the wires in down there and then push it back up, and I'll probably just put maybe I might just screw something onto here just to bring it off a little bit and make it a bit tighter. So I don't know how much room I've got. It's basically the thickness of this, isn't it? What's on there? Not a lot. Jesus, have I left enough room? Yeah, that's tight. That's so tight. Right, let's figure this out. So there's still quite a lot of electrics to do, but we're up to this point now. We've got this panel, it works, and I am so pleased about that. I've got to do the electrics, the other panel. There's two 12-volt fuse boxes. There's one here and there's another one in there that I'm going to be using and be able to access from in my van, and they're going to be the fuses that I'm going to be using for like the expel air and the heater and all the lighting and things like that within the van. And then I've got to do the final fix of all the electrics. So put the switches in, the lights in, connect the fridge, all those sort of things. So that'll be in a future video, but I think we're pretty much up to date now to where I am at the time you're watching this video. I've done a little bit more, which you'll see in the video to come. We're going to have regular videos now. I keep saying that, but we definitely are. There's another video coming pretty soon after this, and then there's going to be videos done just keeping up to date rather than just doing it on themes like this one. I hope you're enjoying this. If you are, please give it a thumbs up, and if you're new here, then consider subscribing. I'm really close to getting to 500,000 subscribers now. Thanks for watching. Bye.